Hello everyone. In the last lecture, we all have understood that how many kinds of demand could be there as well as what are the basic prerequisites of demand. So now in the continuation of the last video, we will understand in this video that what are the various determinants as well as what is the law of demand. Determinants means here that what are the factors because of which the demand gets influenced, right? So we will see one by one all the factors which plays very important part in determining the demand. That is why they all are called determinants, because it helps in determination of demand. So now the first factor is price of the given commodity. Now price of the given commodity means whenever this statement is written given commodity means we are talking about the concerned commodity to which, on which the impact of price has to be seen. For an example, if we are seeing that the given commodity is tea, right? So when the prices of tea increased, maybe people will buy or people will demand less quantity of tea, right? And if the price of commodity tea decrease, people may demand comparatively more quantity of tea. So given commodity means here the commodity on which we want to see the impact of price. Now the next thing is price of related goods. Price of related goods means that for tea, if I just take the same example tea, and if you are not very much particular about tea, what could be the substitute you can have in your mind? The substitute could be coffee. And if you are not specific about tea and if you are just going on a shop to demand tea, but the shopkeeper says that the tea is not available, so what you will do? You will say, okay, just give me coffee. So when we can see that there are two goods that can be used by replacing each other just to satisfy the want of the customer, that goods are called substitute goods, right? So tea and coffee could be substitute goods which can be used in place of each other. Pen and pencil could be substitute goods, because if you are not having a pen, you can use pencil. And if you are not having a pencil, you can use pen as well, right? Coke and Pepsi, when you are very thirsty, if you are not getting Coke, you could see the substitute of Coke, Pepsi. So when the two goods can be used in place of each other just to satisfy the want of the customer, it is called substitute goods. Now next, complementary goods. So complementary goods means which are used, together. When two goods are used together, for an example, pen and refill. Without one product, the another product cannot be demanded into the market. Car and petrol, bread and butter. So these are the goods which are used together, and when you demand for one thing, automatically you demand for the another one, because these goods are generally used together. So these goods are called complementary goods. So when we are determining the demand of a commodity in the market, price of related goods also plays a very important part. Next is income of the consumer. Yes, this is very important, because as in general, when my income increases, I try to increase my consumption. I try to increase the quantity demanded. I try to purchase more of a commodity because my income is increased. So maybe earlier, if I am consuming or I am demanding 1 packet of milk, now I will be demanding 2 packets of milk because my income is increased. But this impact of income depends on the kind of goods in which you are dealing. So if the goods are normal goods, right? Like For an example, salt, matchbox, pepper. Okay, even when we are talking about, like, these are the goods which are very normal, like wheat, we can say like rice, sugar, right? So income increases, and what happened? The demand increases of these commodities, like milk also. So when my income increased, the quantity demanded also increased, and those goods are called normal goods. But we could have another kind of goods also which are called inferior goods. Now what is inferior goods? As such, there is no definition of inferior, but just because of increase in income, you stop using the goods, and the kind of goods which you have stopped using or demanding, those goods are considered as inferior goods. Like for an example, we could have many kinds of milk into the market provided by the seller, like cream, without cream milk. Now when income is low, we generally go with the packet of milk which is cheaper and which is having no cream. So generally the price is about 50 to 20 rupees. But when the income increases, we would like to purchase a packet of milk which is of full milk, full cream, and the price could be 30, 35, 40. So now the packet of milk which you have stopped using, which you are not demanding, without cream milk packet, that packet becomes, or that quality of milk becomes inferior good for you. So the income of the consumer varies or depends that what kind of goods you are using into the market, whether the good is a normal good or inferior good. Now next, taste and preferences. Yes, because demand of a commodity also depends on taste and preferences. When you prefer, you like something, you are having a habit of something, and you are particular about a particular taste, okay, then in that case you generally demand for that commodity. Next, expectation of price change in the future. Yes, this is very important, because when we expect that in future the price is going to rise, for an example, like I generally tell to my students this example because this is a very general example which you can easily remember, like the price of onion. So if there is a rumor that maybe next 10 to 15 days the price of onion will increase, what will you do? Immediately, even if the price is higher now, you will start purchasing. You would like to have a stock of onion at your home in whatever possibility you can have it. It is not like that you will purchase 100 kgs of onion, but then also just to secure the consumption of the onion at least for 1 month, you can purchase 10 to 15 kg of onion, or can have a storage of 10 to 15 kgs of onion at your home. So why this has been happened? Because you were having an expectation of price rise in the future. So generally these are the determinants of individual demand. Now individual demand के अलावा we will have the market demand as well, and market demand is when we are combining the demand of all the individuals, that becomes the market demand. Now what are the determinants? First, size and composition of population. Yes, this is one of the most important determinants. Size, how big the population is, and what is the composition? That means the composition of genders, like male and female, right? So what is the composition of your population? Is that in your population maybe 50% population is more than 60 years of age? In that case, the commodity which will be demanding will be of different nature. So size and composition of the population. Season and weather, yes, it keeps on changing, Consumer keeps on changing its demand of the commodity based on season and weather. Maybe if it is a rainy season, demand of umbrella will be more. And if it is a cold weather, the demand of, पकोड़ा, like generally हम क्या कहते हैं कि अगर ठंडी का सीजन है तो भैया पकोड़े बहुत अच्छे लगेंगे. So you will have a different kind of items which you love to eat in the cold weather. So the season and weather also plays an important part in demanding commodities. Next, distribution of income. Yes, this also plays an important part. How this is important, distribution of income. I think when we see the kind of people into the economy, there are some rural as well as urban economies we can divide into. So what happened? The people who are living into the urban area, their demand of commodities is somehow different as compared to those who are living in the rural area. So it also depends that what kind of income generation is there, where the employment is more, where the people are earning more income, they will demand more commodity and the nature of the commodity will also differ. So now these were the determinants of market demand, and as in the previous slide we have seen all the determinants of individual demand, and now these are the determinants of market demand. Now moving forward, this question is for you all. If you have understood rightly that what is substitute good, can you just tell me the answer of this? Which one is not an example of substitute good? So just think about it for a minute. The answer is, which is not a substitute good. So the answer is, substitute kya nahi hai? Yes, tell me. Bread and butter is not a substitute good. So now, in the next video, we will cover up the remaining part which is called law of demand.